primary school, I was always a bit of a dork, and I was always like, you know, the smallest. And this is going to sound such a typical actor crap, but I was kind of, you know, not the prettiest girl in school, and had acne, and I had braces when I hit high school, and so I was very kind of, I was always quite amusing, I guess, and out there in terms of my personality, but I was quite sort of, you know, horrendous looking.
I was hideous when I was younger.
I mean, I wasn't. I think I went through a really ugly stage.
So did I.
Through the early teens, wasn't a good look, and I also was a bit of a dork. And so when I got to high school, I was like, I want to be cool.
Yeah.
You know, we all wanted to be cool and liked and stuff, right? So I knew the boys probably wouldn't like me that much, so I wanted the girls to like me and me be cool. And so somehow, I don't really know how it happened, I managed to get in with the cool group.
Right.
And because, you know, they're the ones you want to hang out with. This is sort of, you know, year 8.
Yeah,
so I guess like
really
14.
Yeah.
But you know, like that was when everyone wore like steel cap docs, and my parents bought me like the ones that kind of looked like them but weren't them.
Yeah,
oh,
that's suicide.
Devastating. And my backpack was like the same size as me. I had the daggy school backpack, not the cool one that just went on one shoulder.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, I'll try and make it one strap. You know, it's hand sewing the length of my dress up a little bit because it went to like my knees, and I had like chicken legs, and it was a hot mess.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to be cool, and I ended up sort of kind of being a little bit cool for a moment, and I ended up hanging out with these girls, and they were cool. Most of them were cool chicks, but basically I ended up getting quite badly beaten up when I was almost 15 by this one girl who was a big girl. I mean, I don't mean big, but she was tall, and she was a rower, and she was quite muscly, and I was a little toothpick pretty much. But her boyfriend, she was going up with this guy who was a bit older, and they were having problems, as you do when you're 15.
Yeah.
And they would both ring me up and ask me for advice. I don't know what they thought I knew about relationships. I know. Kissed one dude, that was it. Like, I had no idea. But they would both ring me up and ask me, you know, what can I do? And he'd be ringing, she'd be ringing. And she decided that because he was ringing me, that he liked me. And he didn't. And I had no interest in him at all.
Yeah.
Like at all, but she got it in her head, and then all these rumours started going around that he was ringing me and I was talking to him on the phone, and like that's, you know, in high school that's like kissing someone's boyfriend. But I was like, no, he's ringing me to talk about you and how he can, you know, make it better, and I'm trying to solve your relationship issues. I didn't even know what they were. Long story short, she ended up wanting to talk to me at the bus stop after school, and I knew what that meant.
Yeah.
But all this was also in Sydney, and this was it was a selective high school, but it was public, and so these were tough girls. Yeah. And I knew what that meant, and so I don't know why. I felt sick, and I don't know why I went, but it was like I didn't want to be a coward. Yeah. And I went down, and the bus stop was Bondi Junction bus station, and there was like a car park down behind it, and she said, I want to talk to you down in the car park. And I went, okay, knowing what was going to happen. It was a really weird sensation. And I went down, and then all these people turned up to watch. So, and I knew that a couple of them were really rough and might have like knives and stuff like that, and I not that I would have made any kind of impact, I don't think, but I decided I wouldn't fight back, because if I did, something worse could happen. Yeah. And she ended up, so she hit me a bunch of times in the head and kicked me. I've got a couple of scars on my shin. She kicked me in my shin with her steel cap docs because they were popular. And it was all very quick, and I was in shock, so I didn't really feel anything till afterwards. And then I don't know why I didn't run or leave, but then the boy came down, the guy that she was going round with or whatever. Yeah. And I felt like I couldn't leave because all these people were there. Yeah. And I remember she said to him, if you don't like her, you'll cut her hair off. And he's like, I'm not doing that. And she was like, no, you know, you said you don't like her like that. He's like, I don't like her. She doesn't like me. We don't like each other like that. I rang her to talk about you, blah, blah, blah. He was being pretty straight up about it. But this went on for a while, and then I can't really remember the finer details, but I ended up getting put in a headlock and they cut my hair off. So I had like really long hair down to here and it was in a ponytail, and they just chopped my ponytail off. And then they let me go. And so then I ran and I caught the bus home, and I was on the bus and I got a few looks because I had a cut lip and a couple of eggs on my head, and my leg was bleeding a bit, and I got home, and only my brother was home. And I remember the funny things, the details you remember about these incidents. He had a really long bedroom, and he would always be on the computer. He was very smart. My brother would be on the computer at the end of his bedroom, and I got home and he was the only one there. And I said, "Oh, Alexis, I got bashed," and he's like, "No, you didn't." And I went, "Yeah," and he looked at me and he goes, "No, you didn't." And I remember going like that and showing him this little stuff. I said, "They cut my hair off." He's like, "Oh, I'm calling Leon," which is my oldest brother, who would do something about it. And I was like, "No." And then he called my parents, and my parents came home and they took me to the school, and she got suspended for 3 days for beating me up in a public place in school uniform and cutting my hair off. And so then after 3 days I had to pass her in the corridor every day, and it was it was like, tough.
Was after she came back, was it done? Or
it was done. I think she wanted to talk to me afterwards, and I just went, I just took myself away from that group of people. Wow. And I actually ended up in this, because you know everyone's in groups in high school. You've got to find your group, and I didn't know what to do, and I ended up in this beautiful group of people. We had like an Indian girl, and who turned out to be one of my best mates was this half Chinese, half Scandinavian girl, and like all this kind of mixed bag of girls, all different kind of socioeconomic backgrounds and everything, and they were beautiful people, and became good mates with them for a little while, and then I moved to Queensland.